It definitely is a side thing. I don't really ever see it, replacing my income. And that honestly was not the goal for it. I want to have fun. I want to make people laugh and people smile. And I think the day that it becomes, I'm like, oh, this is such a burden. I think that's when I'm just going to be like, all right, I'm out. A lot of things the past couple of years has changed in life. I mean, COVID was stressful, things were stressful, but you have to find the joy in things as well. Even though some stupid things may happen or some depressing things may happen, if you can make light of it, I think that helps. So you're not one dimensional. We have other dimensions. We have other things that we like. And I just so happened to pivot this into a business. I mean, this was not my intention from the get-go. It was just something that morphed into that. And if you have something that you like and that's been kind of just nagging at your gut, follow it. Just go down that path.
A tale of two hygienists.
Welcome back to a Tale of Two Hygienists podcast. We're your hosts, David Torres
Jessica Atkinson.
and guys, for the month of January, we're hosting a special series featuring dental hygienists who started their psychics. Some may even call it projects, businesses, and creative paths, all while they're doing clinical practice. And whether you've been here before since episode 1 or brand new, welcome.
Welcome to episode 521, where we are joined by one of my favorite side giggers, Ashley Kear. And you can't see me, but I am repping all of Ashley's goodness. And I'm going to have her tell you a little bit about that. And I'm going to tell you first a little bit about Ashley. Ashley grew up as what she calls an army brat. I'd love to hear more about that. She grew up in Alabama and Virginia. She went to dental hygiene school at VCU and has been practicing clinical hygiene for 20 years. You can't see Ashley, but if you could see her, you'd be like, that's a lie. She cannot be practicing for 20 years. But that's what she said. That's what she said. And with this illustrious 20-year clinical career and your life, Ashley, this is a lovely bio. But what do you want to be known for in our industry?
Well, hello. Thank you for having me, by the way. Happy
We're
New
so
Year.
happy to have you.
Happy New Year to everyone. I think I like to be known for my love of art as well, too. That's always been a passion of mine ever since I was young. And I wanted to go to art school, but how many artists can actually make a career off what they do? So I had some family who was in healthcare and just kind of pivoted toward dentistry and working with my hands. So dentistry is an art in itself as well. So here I am.
Here she is. And let me tell you, you have made a business, a life, an impact with your art in the dental community. If you do not follow Ashley, I want you to pause this episode right now and go and follow her on all of the socials, because your life is going to be infused with dental art and humor. And I have two of my tumblers in front of me, and I would say is populated 90% with Ashley's handiwork, her art. So if you haven't seen this, she's also made custom art for me, and they always go very well. And everybody asks me where I get them, and I am very happy to share that it's from Ashley Kear. And I have, for example, I'm a little bit of a Potterhead, and I have my Hogwarts School of Toothcraft and Dentistry. I mean, how cute is that with the houses? So, Ashley, can you tell us a little bit about what your business is and how this kind of happened?
So for right now, I on my Etsy shop, I sell mainly stickers. I kind of dabble in doing like sun catchers and car charms. I kind of got into that over COVID. And I also have my partner, Julie Varney, with the dental gift shop. She runs Dental Assistants Rock. She does my shirts because I am wearing one right now, but obviously people can't see that. But she was the one who kind of approached me years ago about doing that. And I'm just like, I'm not. I can draw, but I'm not like a crafty person. And she had already had her shop established. And she's like, well, why don't I take your designs and put them on shirts so you don't have to deal with it? I'm like, perfect. That's great. And she's kind of been there almost from the get-go for me as well. And we always bounce ideas off each other. And she she's kinda like my best online friend. We do a lot with that together, but that's pretty much my little business in a nutshell. And I never thought it would be where it's at now. I really didn't. I had been, I think it was right before COVID. I was in a group on Facebook called Crafty Dental Professionals, and I would put some of my drawings and stuff up there. People like, oh, that'd be a great sticker, that'd be a great shirt. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know. I just do this for, fun, for stress relief. Art has always been kind of my stress relief. And Julie had kind of been hounding me to do things. She's like, I really think you should try this. And I'm like, all right, you're persistent enough, fine. So that's where we ended up. So I guess I also kind of got into it too, because you'd see a lot of designs out there and everything was pretty much, I don't know, it was just kind of generic. And I wanted something creative. My mind is, I guess it's got endless depths of ideas because stuff keeps rolling out of it. But I'm just glad people kind of get that humor. So,
It's fantastic. I love that very much. Is there any specific? You mentioned you started this since COVID. Was this
hmm
like obviously you were having fun with it, but what kind of
hmm
like made you empower? Was it like your friend telling you like, "Hey, I really do think you can make this into a side hustle. Let's start with
oh,
one sticker," or
100% it was my friends, because I didn't know if I wanted to really do anything with it. And I didn't want to have like a lot of inventory. Like stickers were pretty, low cost for inventory. And I went through a lot of trying different printers and things to see what would work. Because, I want to put out a good product that lasts. And some things I got, I'm like, oof, I really don't like this. And so it was a lot of trial and error with that. And my husband, he's an accountant, by the way. So he's, luckily I have that. But he's like, look, okay, we'll give this a trial run on Etsy for like a couple months and just see how it works. And if it doesn't work, just let's drop it. So I did, and it's not, I will say now, I mean, I've been doing this for a couple years now. It is definitely not enough to replace hygiene income by any means. I mean, starving artists, that is true. But it's fun. It's an outlet for me, and I get to meet a lot of cool people along the way. So it helps, pay for some vacations and things, which is nice. But it definitely is a side thing. I don't really ever see it, replacing my income. And that honestly was not the goal for it. That's not the goal of this. I want to have fun. I want to make people laugh and people smile. And I think that was my main goal heading into it, and to have fun with it. I think the day that it becomes, I'm like, oh, this is such a burden. I think that's when I'm just gonna be like, all right, I'm out.
It's the day that
So
it goes out.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that you brought up that you wanted to be fun, you wanted to bring humor, and those are things that when you're in the grind, the 9 to 5, but for most of us, it's the 7 to 2 or the 8 to 6 or,
Yeah.
our clinical hours can become a drain on that creativity. Have you found that this has kind of lit in a spark or improved your clinical experience in any way?
Oh, yeah, I think definitely my work is really, they're really cool with me. Like I can wear my shirts to work. Like they don't care, and patients notice it and ask, especially like during the holidays and stuff. And it's fun, and people are like, "Oh, what are you wearing today? Let me see what you're wearing today." And so, yeah, it definitely has, and I do think it helps. I am working 4 days a week, but I work kinda half days because I have to, drop off my son to school and pick him up. So, I think not completely being full days really helps with that. I have had to find a balance between, because I used to be, "Okay, I'm gonna do orders every day." I had to stop that and be like, "Okay, that's getting a lot," coming home and having to do all my mom stuff and house stuff and balance that on top of that. So I've kind of got my little schedule worked out where I'm like, okay, these days or these times, this is when I'm working on it and not. And as far as, coming up with designs, like, things at work will come up or something funny will happen or I'll talk with patients about something and I'm like, oh, that's like I can move that into a design or something like that. So, your mind is always spinning. It doesn't stop, and I'm one of those people. I have so many lists on my phone with ideas of things that I'm like, "Okay, I gotta jot it down because I won't remember it, but then I'll come back to it." So, it definitely kinda goes both ways with things, and it gets, it's fun at work, and then patients think it's they think it's cool too. They think it's cool too. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you drew that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did draw that." So,
It is cool.
it's
You are
kind of
very
fun.
talented.
So being a hygienist for
Mhm,
this long, what would you say are some of the skills
mhm.
that transfer surprisingly well to having some sort of entrepreneurship and having a side hustle like this?
I think your ability to adapt to situations and talk with people and get to know people. I know, I graduated 20 years ago, and 20-year-old me is different from 40-year-old me now. And you gain confidence with talking with people and with your clinical skills, relaying information. And I think that kind of segues into, helping out your business and things as well. Cause you have to be able to communicate with people and talk with people and feel people, really have to feel people out too. I think that really helps out a lot with the business aspects.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think we're all at the end of the day when we're seeing patients, being able to connect with them and having that communication skills is also important. Also, even fun. You mentioned it twice already, like, oh, being able to have fun with it regardless and having that, interaction with the patients and just them asking you questions as being a people person. I think that's quite impactful.
Oh, absolutely. I think, we can be serious, but there's been, a lot of things the past couple of years that has changed in life. I mean, COVID was stressful, things were stressful, but you have to find the joy in things as well. Because you can't, even though some stupid things may happen or some depressing things may happen, if you can make light of it, I think that helps things as well too. And it helps to joke around with patients. Oh my gosh, makes people way more relaxed, you know, and being uptight all the time. I could never practice like that. So,
I think there's been a generality about dental hygienists that we are uptight, that is a
mhm.
personality trait that we have,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I think finding ways like this to break that ice and not take ourselves I mean, take what we're doing seriously, but not take ourselves so seriously and find that humor and find the joy and find the idiosity sometimes,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and poke fun at that. I love watching your posts and having your stickers that kind of poke fun or
Yeah. Yeah.
reveal things in a way that brings a chuckle. For example, I have a sticker here that says to and if you are also a
Yeah.
40-year-old like Ashley and I,
Yeah.
you will know a Tamagotchi, and so things like that, like, bringing that humor has really been fun for me to watch and observe on your and I know that if I come to you with a crazy idea, you're
Mhm.
like, "Totally, I got that," and, like, I've had Ashley make some great stuff for me, and it brings a lot of humor and a lightness and a connectivity, so I just did
Yeah.
a humanitarian trip, and I wanted a sticker to give to everybody who was on that humanitarian trip, and Ashley made one that we love. It's a little Labubu. I
It's
know,
like
right?
a dental
A
Labubu.
dental Labubu, and so that is like a piece that now connects the people in my trip together, and if they've been on a trip like that, they have that sticker, and you create connection, and you have that connection with your patients. I was curious about what you said, sometimes patient interactions spark an idea. Can you tell us maybe one of those examples?
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes, especially because, we see all age ranges and, there's things that go viral and stuff. And sometimes, like, I'll have younger patients mention something to me and I'm like, oh, I haven't heard of that. And then I'll go
Yes.
look it up and I'm like, oh, I can go spin that. And that's fun. Or at least make a meme or something. Cause I've always loved making memes. Like,
You're
I mean,
good
you
at it.
see like that, like, I'll see something, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I can
Mm.
make that into a meme." I mean, not like I'm gonna make any money off that, but it's funny. So,
I think we all have like those stories. You just brought up a good example. I was
mhm.
talking to a patient and a younger teenager, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, that's Cap." And I was like, what do you mean, like Cap?" And he's like, "But he embarrassed me." He was like, "You don't know what Cap is?" And I'm like Captain America.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, that means lie." And I'm like, "It's three letters, man. Why would you change the word all of a sudden?" But we have to keep up with that. And I think being able to have some sort of like a sticker that relates a little bit of like that core memory and how we
Yeah.
feel. It's amazing.
It's funny. I'm lucky my almost 10-year-old, like, I'll ask him things and he like the whole 6, 7 thing now, and he's like, "Oh, mom, 6, 7. Oh." He's like, That's annoying." But he's funny because he know like I could at least ask him, like
Mhm.
he'll know what it means, or he'll come to me with this stuff. And he's like, "Mom, have you heard of this?" I'm like, "No, just tell me because I probably will
You're like, "I need a
eventually hear
me
it."
I need to do
Yes.
some creation here." Well, it's funny funny 'cause
Yes.
when David said cap, I was thinking about embryology and the cap stage of tooth development.
Yes, exactly.
Or, like,
Not
when 6, 7 came around, I was thinking about an imperial sickle scaler, like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought too, and I just was like, 6, 7? That's immediately what I thought.
I'm like, "I'm
Well,
such a geek." I don't know what it
That's
means,
the way
and
our minds work, it just shifts to teeth.
but see,
So
that's great. You have your husband who's an accountant, and then you have your son who's a research consultant for new slang. So there you go.
yes, yes, or he'll be like, "Mom, that's so dumb." No, don't do that.
and then you
Or
post it and it goes
it's
It's
cringe, not dumb,
cringe.
it's cringe, it's cringe.
something that
Yes.
I love that you do, though, is you are tapping into multiple parts of your personality and finding this thread that connects. So one
Mhm.
of my favorite things is your a lot of your posts or your stickers are also you've got a literary base here.
Oh,
You've
yes.
got some I would like you to tell
Yes.
us a little bit about your music
Yes.
and your book connections, how those get connected to dental. Like, we're talking about things like CAP and 6, 7 and how they automatically have a dental
Yes.
connection. Well, Ashley has
Yes.
found a way to automatically connect dental to take it away, Ashley.
Oh my gosh, so it's funny, I've always loved music. The shirt you can't see the shirt I said, but it says, "Smells like teeth and spit," like, smells like Teen Spirit, because I'm an alt grunge girl, 90s alt grunge girl, so stuff comes up on your For You page and things, and I kept seeing, like, a lot of book stuff because I was trying to get back into reading, and I'm like, "What do I wanna read?" And I kept seeing, Fourth Wing and ACOTAR and all this stuff, and I'm like, "What is this?" So I started if you know those books, you know those books. So it's like dragons and fairies and all that stuff. And my latest sticker that I've sold out of, which I'm getting back in, and it says forced to be a or born to be a dragon rider, but forced to work in dentistry. And it's got a dragon on it. And then I did one that's a tooth that's standing on a bunch of books that hold on, I have to read what I have here. Okay, like so it's like if Throne of Glass, it's Throne of Gingivitis, and instead of Game of Thrones, Game of Teeth, Interview with the Dentist instead of Interview with the Vampire, A Court of Carries and Decay instead
That's
of,
amazing.
yeah, and then I have, like, Encyclopedia of Tooth Fairy, so just fun
Because
things like that.
there is such a following in that, like,
Mhm.
I have found some dental friends so I have a little book club with some past students, and they got me reading some similar books, and
Yes,
so
yes,
they
yes,
we j
yes.
and we had, like, this group, this connected group of book readers that were
Mhm,
also dental nerds, and so when I see these things, it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is combining all of our loves and our creativity," and that is something that I really appreciate that you do, is you find these ways that I think we can silo ourselves as dental
mhm,
professionals and maybe have a a veneer of personality that's not necessarily true, and so you're, like,
mhm.
breaking this veneer of the generality of being one dimension type A, and you're exposing our nerdness in so
Yes.
many ways.
Yes, yes, and, and the music thing, because 'cause I've been leaning into a lot of, like, metal this year, like, metal music and things, and I know people will see I my favorite band right now is Sleep Token, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them, but they kinda blew up this year. I just discovered them from my, like, For You page, and it's not they don't classify themselves as metal, but they're, like, all over the place, but they wear these like masks when they perform and stuff. So I was like, oh my God, instead of sleep token, teeth token. So I like
Mm.
drew that. And I mean, I
When you
don't
wear
like
a mask
sell
when you
that.
perform.
I know. And
Yeah.
it's just, and oh my gosh. So it's just, it's funny. So I'll use like their music or something in a lot of like my reels and whatnot and things too. Cause I'm like, okay, maybe I can find more dental, nerds like who like that kind of stuff too. So I just find ways to kind of intertwine what I like into what I'm doing. And I think the thing is, I'm not looking at it from a point of what's going to get the most views, what's going to be popular. And I'm like, this is what I like. Maybe you're into it too. And if that's cool, it's fine. Cause not every post I get a bunch of likes on, but I have something in my brain. I just have to get it out.
So I'm
Hmm.
I'm curious now. Think about like the hygienist that's working 9 to 5, that's
Hmm.
probably pregnant and is gonna, be busy, or the one that's been doing it for a really, really long time, or
Hmm.
maybe just like a new grad that just graduated.
Hmm.
Maybe they're starting to feel stuck, or they're just kind of listening to this episode and they're like, man, like I'm a nerd too. Like I can do certain things, but that's not necessarily my thing.
Hmm.
How do you recommend they start, or how do you think are some of the steps where they can use to find their thing?
Just, I'm a big believer in following your gut and your intuition. I feel like I ignored that for a long time. And, I think you need to do something that you find joy in, and things will come along because I mean, I've been there. I was pregnant when I was working full time and I was getting burnt out and all this stuff. You need something where you can have like a release to, and I think that's very important that you're not like Jessica said, you're not one dimensional. We have other dimensions. We have other things that we like. And I just so happened to pivot this into a business. I mean, this was not, my intention from the
Mhm.
get-go. It was just something that morphed into that. And if it morphs into that, great. But you have to find something. I think if you have something that you like and that's been kind of just nagging at your gut, follow it. Just go down that path because you know what? If things don't work out or if you decide you don't like it, fine. But just I think we should always keep evolving ourselves. We're not the same person we were 5, 10, 15 years ago. We have different seasons of our life. And I think you need
Mhm.
to just kind of go along with that too. And like now, like I've always had something in my room where I've always wanted to learn piano or learn an instrument or something. And it's been like even when I was a kid, my grandma had a piano at her house and she's like, "You have piano fingers. You need to do that." And I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know if I have time." My doctor is actually a really great pianist too. She's amazing. And she's like, "Yeah, get a keyboard and try some things out." So, and I'm like, God, of all the stuff I have on my plate right now, but I keep feeling like that's just nagging at me and to do that. And it's not anything that's gonna my demo career or something, but I think it's something that's gonna bring me happiness and joy, and I might share some of my struggles along the way with that. But, I think that's something that's fun to do. So I think if you have something that's kinda nagging at you that you've always wanted to do, you need to have a release valve for something.
Mhm.
You need to have something that you think that you wanna do that finds you joy, not that like, "Okay, that's gonna be my hustle," or "That's gonna be this," because ultimately, if you're just doing it to, think you're gonna make money from it or think you're gonna do this and it doesn't work out, then you're gonna just be like, "Well, I just wasted a bunch of time," but if it's something you've always wanted to try to do, be like, "Well, okay, you know what? I tried it and it didn't work out," or, "I tried it and it did work out." So, I think the big thing is follow your intuition.
I think it's one of those things that, like, obviously, when you look back, right, is like, would I love myself for have tried and like not
Mhm.
succeed, or would I like not love myself as much if I didn't try at all, right? And I
Yeah.
think for somebody like us who've been in dentistry for a while, yes, we are very passionate about patient care and our careers and all stuff. But it seems to me that there's a common theme whenever we start a side hustle, it almost gives you even more energy when you actually go work in the clinical setting, right? Because you
Mhm.
have that itch already scratched. You've already done something for yourself. So when you go to work, it's for work. You have fun, you enjoy, and you talk to your patients about your experience. And one of the best things about being a dental hygienist nowadays is that you have different type of people and you have a lot of different conversations where maybe one of those patients could be the ones telling you like, yeah, go ahead and do it. You'll be really good at that. You got some piano hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that'll
Yeah.
be fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to, to relate to patient. I think, we talk so much about, we're not just there to talk about home care. Honestly, I feel like we're kind of like therapists in a way too, because we see our patients regularly. We get to know them. Like, oh, I will say the office I'm at now, I really love our patients are great. I really build a rapport with a lot of them. I really enjoy, I really, really enjoy seeing them and, learning about their families and whatnot too. So it's kind of like, it is an extended family, but you do hear things from them. And I live outside of DC and it's a very, connected area here. There's a lot of things going on and it's great to have, you're giving back to your community. You feel like you're giving back to your community. You really feel like they're kind of your family too. And I love that aspect of clinical. And I think that that helps out with your, is giving me joy too. So
There are very few professions where people let you into their personal space.
yes.
And I think when we
Yes.
when we breach that personal space, it allows us into their world and it allows them into ours and to share with them more than just OHI, which is important, but also
Yeah.
that, hey, who do you who do you think is better and is Manon your favorite character?
Yes,
Because she's
exactly.
mine, and,
I love Manon too, yes. Yes.
our and then you connect with people on a level that improves and strengthens that trust and
Mhm.
translates, I believe, into how they care for themselves.
Oh, 100%. I mean, especially like, with the books, especially I've connected with so many patients with books and some I'm really surprised too cuz like especially some of like the older women they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm like reading this book called this guitar." I was like, "Oh yeah, I know about that." And they're like, "Oh, okay, you read."
A little spicy for me. I gotta stick with Throne of Glass.
Like, guys, I know well, it was funny because I read ACOTAR first, and honestly, I like Throne of Glass better, I dare to
It's a
say. Like,
good
I just
story.
it is such a good story. It's a good story, and, I kind of after I finished Throne of Glass, because I waited for that series last out of all of her books because there were so many books to it. I was just like, "Oh, that's gonna be a bear," but, I mean, I went through that, like, really fast, and now I just kinda have a Burn a Glass hangover, and I don't know, I'm reading a couple of different things right now, but nothing is, like,
Scratching that itch.
scratching that itch, but I got a couple of, books for Christmas, and I finally got a Kindle, and I have Kindle Unlimited, so I'm like,
And a new level has
"Alright."
been unlocked.
Oh, yes. Yes, and, my dental book because I have a little group of dental book girlies too, and they're like, "Oh, just wait, just, just
I love
just
that.
just just wait." So,
Well, we are grateful
yeah.
that you were one of our very first of this year to help us unlock a new level of the Tale
Yay!
of Two Hygienists podcast and start this year off really strong, Ashley, in
Mhm.
reminding us to listen to our gut, to
Yes.
remember that we are multifaceted and that
Mhm.
those things can feed each other instead of be siloed. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes. Don't be afraid to be weird. I mean, I've been on this earth long enough where it's okay. Do what you do, whatever you like, you know, keep at it.
That I hope that's a sticker, right? Don't be afraid to be weird or be weird.
I embrace your I don't even wanna say dental nerd, I just wanna say your weirdness, so I think I'll have to do something with that.
There you go. Next idea.
Yeah, yes, yes.
We'll look forward to that next sticker, Ashley.
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
Alright,
And
thanks for having me.
that's a wrap on today's episode of A Tale of Two Hygienists podcast. If this conversation made you feel seen, inspired, or even just a little fired up, share it with a fellow hygienist or fellow dental professional. Share it with your neighbors, your friends, share it with everyone. That is how this community grows.
Make sure you subscribe, leave us a review, and connect with us on social media so that we can keep on going with this conversation. Remember, your career, your voice, and your story matter here. We're David,
And Jessica,
and until next time.
keep learning, keep laughing, and keep showing up for yourself and for each other.
This has been a production of Endeavor Business Media, a division of Endeavor B2B.